NAVA acknowledges the Gadigal and Wongal peoples of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the land on which this was filmed, and pay respects to elders past, present, and future.
My name's Tarik Ahlip, and I'd say my practice stems from writing, though I kind of practice across a range of modes, mainly sculpture so far, but film and video have now kind of crept into precedence, I suppose. So I guess that's more what I'm doing now. I think I kind of reached the limit in terms of my interest and capacity to say what I wanted with sculpture. I find what film and video, and in particular the idea of cinema, do much more interesting.
Has there been a turning point in your career or an experience that has shaped your practice?
I'd say the transition into making video and film, that's been a pretty eventful thing, partly because of circumstances like COVID and the lockdown kind of forced all of these projects to be postponed to one particular period, which has been the first 6 months of this year. So I've had a lot of projects that I've had to do in a very short amount of time, which has actually made this year very eventful in that sense. So I think a lot of people would probably say the present moment is the kind of very defining one, but it's definitely been the case for me.
What is the most pressing issue for you as an artist right now?
I think the questions that have always been there are a bit more pressing now and demand to be dealt with, not even necessarily so much as like, how do I survive making a living to keep practicing as an artist, but just how do I justify what I'm doing? You know, is this necessarily the mode of working that's going to be socially relevant in the future? Because I don't think it's trite to say that a lot is changing and a lot has changed. One way in which I've kind of answered that anxiety about the future has been to basically tell myself that having a diverse range of skills is going to be a really important thing, because flexibility is always kind of a pretty guaranteed survival tactic.
What is something you wish you knew when you were an emerging artist?
I mean, to put it in kind of very prosaic, practical terms, I'd say to myself at that age, either take some time off or look at your tertiary options a bit more carefully. If I'd done that, I probably would have ended up in a place that I would have been a bit more excited to be, and I probably would have discovered a culture that would have allowed for more growth. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I kind of felt that I needed to just adapt some kind of posture to show that I did. I think there is something interesting about people that kind of go on to do things in spite of.
How has NAVA's code of practice been useful to your work as an artist?
When I kind of got to the point where I was engaging collaborators, I found it useful to refer to NAVA codes and schedules so that I knew that my collaborators felt that their contributions were met with value. It was very useful to have that, you know, to know that I've met my obligations as a collaborator.
What brings you joy in your practice? Why do you make art?
So for me, like, trying new things is always really important. Yeah, kind of like taking risks and just trusting my intuition is the most exciting thing. Most of my studio practice has been quite solitary, and I mean, part of the reason why I'm so excited about making video, and if it's not too grand to say hopefully making cinema, is that like I will get to work with people, and I have started working with people, and that's a really exciting thing. So yeah, kind of pushing that frontier of what my skills are and what I can do and what I can offer in terms of collaboration, that brings me a lot of joy.